National Pretzel Day! My name's Chris Nalford, Director of Community Relations for the Museum of Arts and Sciences. Today, as you can see, is National Pretzel Day.
Well, I like Pretzel Day.
We're going to be making our very own soft pretzels. This is a very simple recipe. In fact, all the ingredients are probably in your cabinets right now. So, follow along and let's celebrate the proper way. Step 1, ingredients. Let's get started. Here are the necessary ingredients that you'll need to make your soft pretzels. You'll need a cup and a half of warm to lukewarm water, 1 packet of instant yeast or active dry yeast, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. And then you'll need 3 to 4 cups of all-purpose flour. This measurement doesn't need to be exact. It's just going to kind of depend on the development of your yeast as you blend it. So the first step is going to be mixing our active dry yeast with our warm water. Just going to pour that in the bowl there. We'll open our packet here. I'm going to dump that in. You just need 1 packet, no more, no less. And then you're just gonna stir that yeast in until it fully dissolves. There may be some clumps of the yeast still in the bowl. Those will work themselves out as we add the other ingredients. Just want it to be mostly mixed in. Okay, so now that we've kind of mixed in that dry yeast in that warm water, we're going to add the other ingredients. So we have our salt and our sugar, and then we're going to gradually add in the flour, 1 cup at a time. So I have my cup measuring there. I'm just going to take 1 cup. I'm going to gradually pour it in to the dry yeast. You just want to kind of keep mixing until that blends really, really nicely. You're going to keep adding. You're going to add up to 3 to 3.5 cups of flour before you test it for its stickiness to see if you can start kneading the dough. See, it starts to get a little bit thicker, and that's what you want. You'll start to see that the dough is a little bit sticky. It's sticking to the sides. We'll eventually keep adding a little bit of flour to get rid of that stickiness. Once the dough starts to become 1 lump of dough and it's not so much a liquid form, you're going to want to test it to see if it's ready to be to see if you're ready to knead it. And the way to test that is by poking it, and you want to see it bounce back. So if I poke it and it bounces back, then it's ready to we're ready to start kneading the dough. But we're not quite there yet. I think we're ready to start kneading now. Gave it a little test, it's bouncing back. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna start kneading our dough. All right, now that we have our dough ready for the kneading process, we need to sanitize our work area, which I've already done. And you're gonna blanket your area with some flour. Things are about to get a little messy. So you just want to put a decent amount of flour on your work surface. And then you want to take your dough and place it in that flour space. And you're just going to start kneading your dough for about 3 to 5 minutes. You just want it to firm up a little bit, and you want to make sure that it's not sticky. And if you feel like your dough is still a little bit sticky, just add some flour to the mixture. As I was prepping to make the soft pretzels, I went down a rabbit hole and looked up the history of the soft pretzel. And according to history.com, the Catholic Church is responsible for engineering the first pretzel. A soft pretzel was an acceptable thing to eat during Lent. Lent in the 7th century was a little more strict than it is nowadays. So the Catholic Church, thank you for inventing the soft pretzel. Now the German immigrants brought the soft pretzel over to America in 1710. And it wasn't until the 1800s, 1861 I think is what history.com said, that the first commercial pretzel bakery was established in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. So who knew? Just a little history on the soft pretzel. I'm just gonna keep kneading our dough. And as you feel it's getting to a good consistency, you can kind of form it into a ball. There we go. Okay, it's time to start cutting sections of our dough so that we can start forming our pretzels. So just get a sharp knife. I'm using an Alaskan ulu, native to Alaska, really for filleting fish, but it's really good size and it's sharp. So we're just gonna cut small sections of our dough. So based on the size of my pretzels, I'm gonna be able to make 12 soft pretzels out of my dough today. All right, there we go. So from here, we're gonna start stretching them out, rolling them out so that they can make kind of like a rope so that you can twist it however you'd like. Form it to whatever shape you desire your pretzel to be. So I like to kind of twist mine like this. I feel like it's a little bit quicker, but they break apart like that. You just kind of roll them back together. All right, we've got all of our dough rolled out into what will be 12 soft pretzels. Now we get to shape them, and that's the fun part. Just want to clear my workspace just a little bit. Take my first roll here. Now, if you want to do the traditional twisted pretzel, you're going to take the two ends, bring them up, twist them there, give them a twist, then you're going to bring them back toward you. This one's a little small, but... And then you just kind of press the dough in so that it can stay and keep its shape. I'll get a close-up on one of these for you. So then you're just gonna put it over here on a separate platter. And once you're done twisting all of your pretzels or shaping them however you want, then we give them a baking soda bath, and then we'll put them in the oven. So let's get shaping our pretzels, and then we'll move on to this baking soda bath. Okay, so now we're gonna take 9 cups of water and a half cup of baking soda, and we're gonna bring that to a boil. We can also preheat our oven to 425. And we can get that started. So when you put your pretzel into the baking soda bath, you don't want it to be in there any longer than 20 to 30 seconds. Otherwise, it will give it kind of a metallic taste. So you just want to dip it in. For about 20 to 30 seconds. And then I have a cooling rack over here that I'm just gonna put those on so that they can kind of drip dry a little bit until we're ready to put them on our baking sheet. So you're just kind of gonna go through the process of doing that to each pretzel. Our pretzels are almost ready to go into the oven. Just one more step before we do that. We're now ready to arrange our pretzels onto our baking sheet. So what you're gonna do is grab a pretty large baking sheet and line it with parchment paper. That's just gonna keep it from sticking to the pan. Okay, so we're just going to place our pretzels onto our sheet. All right, so this will be my first round of pretzels. It looks like I'm gonna have to do 2 batches in terms of cooking them in the oven. But when you have your first batch on your baking sheet, you're gonna wanna do a little egg wash, which is basically just taking 1 large egg, whipping it, and then you're gonna take a little brush and just coat the top part of the pretzel. And this is just gonna give it the golden brown look when it comes out of the oven. And this is also gonna help keep that coarse salt on the pretzel. Now I'm choosing to do salty pretzels. You can certainly do a cinnamon sugar mix and do more of a sweet pretzel. I'm just going with your typical salty pretzel. So then we're gonna take some coarse salt, that's what I have here. We're just gonna sprinkle to your desire on your pretzel. If you're into corny jokes, I've got one for you. Why did the pretzel call the police? Because he got assaulted. I thought that was fitting as we're salting our pretzels right now. Okay, so we are all salted, we are egg washed, and we're ready to go into the oven. So we will slide on over to our 450-degree oven, and we're gonna bake these for 10 minutes. Then we're gonna switch our oven to broil, and broil from 3 to 5 minutes until it's a nice golden brown. We baked for 10 minutes, and now we're broiling for 3 to 5, based on your preference. Looks like those are golden brown. Hey, I think they look pretty good. All right, I'm waiting for my last few pretzels to bake in the oven. Until those are ready, I melted a little bit of butter, and I'm just going to take my brush and just kind of lightly brush the pretzels with a little bit of butter just to add a little extra flavor. Who doesn't love a little butter? Then we're just gonna let these sit and cool while we wait for our other pretzels to finish baking. Well, there you have it, delicious golden brown soft pretzels. If you did follow the recipe today, make sure you tag us on Facebook at Moaz Daytona so we can see how yours turned out. I'm serving mine with a little bit of a cheese sauce that I made, and I hope you do the same. Thanks again for joining me. Enjoy your soft pretzels and happy Pretzel Day.